Podcast twins.
Once again, it's on.
Here we go, Vince. So, Vince, you got to clear something up for me.
Shoot.
Because I texted you and Kirsten last night, and I used the word woke. And I had seen something funny on new Ben & Jerry's flavors on TikTok, and they were making fun of how woke they were with the LGBTQ LMNOPIA plus community.
Right.
And I just thought it was funny that, Ben & Jerry's, because they can't sell ice cream, they have to change their marketing to a certain demographic, let's say Democrats.
Okay.
And that's their marketing, because they're serving sugar and poison and dyes and chemicals. So I get why they need good marketing, because their product sucks.
Okay.
So they have to virtue signal, or whatever the proper word is, to the woke. But I said the word woke, and I used it as like a 2025 definition, apparently, because the definition has changed, obviously. I could see you guys, but I could feel on your text, on our group text, I'm like, what the hell are they talking about?
Yeah.
So I'm coming at this from I don't know anything. Okay. What the heck were you guys talking about with the word woke?
It is my absolute pleasure to clarify.
Please, teach me something.
Because it has not been redefined, it has been bastardized.
The word woke.
The word woke. The way it's used today literally makes me nauseous.
What is it supposed to be to you?
I got you. I had to hold down the nausea at that point. So, when we grew up in the 80s, late 70s even, but mostly in the 80s, when the rap music was taken off, and we had very different branches. Back when...
Like Snoop Dogg became famous.
Hold tight. I need you to ride on this one.
Go ahead.
Back in the days where you had different branches of music that was all celebrated. So we had, even going into the era of gangster rap or weed smoking rap or whatever, but we also had a very conscious rap when you had groups like X-Clan, Public Enemy, and all these other areas. And so they were in the process of educating you as well as entertaining you, which is also where the edutainment segment of rap music came into play. And during that episode, during that time, the word woke was used readily as something to say to you, hey, listen, educate yourself on who you are so you don't get hoodwinked and bamboozled again. That's the way we spoke to one another, like, hey man, stay woke, don't get caught out there again, because if you don't know your history, then you're bound to repeat it. So that's where a lot of these artists were talking about it during that time period. And so for 20 years, when you would hear the word woke, you normally wouldn't hear it from other communities. You only really heard it within the black community or the rap community, and those that involved themselves in rap, no matter what their ethnicities were. Because we understood that we were talking about stay on your knowledge, continue to educate, and continue to uplift. That's what woke has been since its inception of slang usage, I would say in the early to mid 80s.
So
but
it was
when it became...
it sounds... I got to interrupt you, because it sounds like it was a positive thing, right?
You're
building each other up, right?
The most positive.
And you know what? It doesn't matter if you're black or Italian or Jewish or whatever. I think any community rallies around people that are like them. Just like you and I rally around each other because we're alike. Like that's why we're the twins. But keep going. Keep rolling, Vince.
When the whole... the alphabet group or whatever started to take effect, and all of these things began to go in the way, and the Democratic Party, since you brought them into it, really got on that train and started riding it crazy in the extreme direction in favor of, then that's when you had the other side, I call it the Fox News syndrome, that started to take words that were being used to help these people understand their struggles, and they literally stole it and bastardized the word so bad and completely changed and made their own meaning of it, and it became this whole gay rights thing and all of this other stuff, and we would sit back like, well, what the hell are they talking about? That means absolutely nothing of what the word woke means. Huh. And I got friends out there and they know it, because every time they put that damn word on Facebook, I just I snap, because it's horrible. It is so bastardized, and you very few words. Very few words.
This is like saying the C word to a woman, or in front of a woman. Yeah, it sounds like
it's to me. It's to that level of just disgust. It is absolutely disgusting to me, because then you look at the people who are doing this, and I'm like, man, you literally loving this word that you just completely made up your own goddamn definition of. And it's like, man, dude, it's just been bastardized so much. It's been bastardized so much that we don't use it anymore. We have literally dug a grave and buried that word, because it now stinks. No one has said, to me in the last 5 years, hey man, stay woke over any subject matter, because they hate it. I hate it. It's a hated word. So when we hear it now, it literally brings it right here. You got to catch it. So when you said it last night, you could feel my vomit in the text message coming up.
Well, that's why I waited till I got you in person to ask you, because I figured that you didn't think that I meant it in any harmful way.
Most don't.
But obviously I had no clue.
Most don't. It's just that the history of how it was used, and again, we'll even say that we stole that word and used it into a hip hop era or into a slang term.
So but did it start in rap music then originally?
I would just say,
or around rap music.
Look, you had Stokely Carmichael's back in the '60s that was telling his people to stay woke. So we're going all the way back into the civil rights era, the Black Panther area, all of these areas where you had people that spoke very plain English or spoke in slang terms, because they were only talking to their demographic at that point. That word has been used since way back then. In the music portion of it, I would say definitely in the 80s, when the conscious rappers were still allowed to be conscious rappers, before you had to talk about robbing, killing, and stealing and calling them bitches and hoes, and that's the only way you was gonna get played. Back then we had some real, you had lanes you could pick. You could be that kind of rapper, but that conscious rap was amazing. Just not celebrated anymore. So, but yeah, that's where the word came. It got bastardized, and good thing I got my hydrogen water.
As usual, politicians ruin everything. Got it. All right, got it.
So we're good. We can leave that my identical twin will never use the word woke in that term ever again.
No.
Ben and Jerry's ice cream, the woke. I was like, what? I literally paused.
No, they were just spoofing like goofy flavors and stuff like that. It was funny. It's like, you laugh, you move on.
It was funny until it wasn't.
Until the word woke came in,
and I could feel Kerf on the other side talking about.
It's another 4-letter word I'm not supposed to say.
Yeah,
Got it. All right, understood.
Leave that one.
It's like saying rain on the golf course.
There's a hole already dug. We're just going to throw that word right over in there, because it's been bastardized so much, I don't ever want to touch it again.
Well, I mean, it's got to be something. It's one of those things that everything's just smoke and mirrors to make us fight each other, right? Like, we should be fighting right now, according to the establishment.
I get it, but again, just this, you can make your point without... Okay, I'm going to give you a very good example. If you ever heard people that can't cuss right, people that curse backwards, that it has no flow, and it's like, if you can't use it right, just don't use it. When you cuss backwards, you change the whole meaning of the whole sentence, so if I say something and you say something and use the same word and it don't sound right, one of us got to put that word down.
All right, got it.
And it's usually so that cursing is a very good way to put it, because you've heard people that use and they, when they got done with the statement, you're like, what? You didn't even. Well, I can't even be offended, because I can't even really understand what you're saying.
Now that I learned something. Let's go back to our last episode.
Okay.
Where I ended the episode and I could feel the hair on your neck raise, and you said your blood pressure went up.
So give us a recap real quickly of what that was.
We were talking about RFK, and then that led to shots and the vaccine schedule. And I said that I was having a conversation with one of my friends, and I said to him, well, why do we need all these vaccines for a baby? What do we not trust God that he gave the humans everything we needed to survive in this life?
Wow.
And it led to a longer conversation, and I haven't really thought about it much since. But now that you've had a chance to kind of digest my topic, go ahead, Vince.
I absolutely love what you said. And because if it was just that, we would be much better as a society. But the fact that money cannot be made if we go against what God made to be perfect, because the earth was here, right? So it was something that was called the animal something. Basically, you don't see animals going to take a vitamin C supplement.
Yeah, I mean, look, we're the home of the free, home of the land of the free, and home of the brave, right?
So basically, even going to where you're directing this, if we did not have processed foods, would we even need a vaccine? If we did not have these things that would be processed, would we need half of the drugs or half of the vitamins out here? Because
I'd say absolutely not, and it's a no-brainer answer.
And that's why it bothers me, because I do agree that what you said. I do agree that we were made perfectly for the environment in which we were put into, because everything we want and need is coming right here. See, walking this earth, swimming in this water.
And
if you want to be one of them people that eat the grass and eat all these other, hey, look, it's here for you. But the problem is that now we got to make so much money from it, because we are a capitalistic society, which is why we're the sickest nation on earth. Because we want to make so much money, we don't want to have the cycles of vegetables growing. We don't want to have the cycles of strawberries growing. We want to have them all year long. So we have to now chemically bastardize them and put GMO products out there. So we have distorted the historical health value in these items. So therefore now we're going to have a deficiency. You don't know that because you're buying strawberries in the middle of the winter. You're thinking, man, these are great. They're nice, big, plump. The strawberry season is in the spring and summer.
I mean, I don't care about strawberries anymore because we're both back to carnivore.
But my point is, even going back to ancestral eating, even the people who were historically carnivores, during the season of that fruit, if they could find it, they would eat it, because you
needed to live.
You needed to live, and it tasted good, and they didn't know it was healthy, but it was healthy because it was in its natural state. But we have bastardized all of that.
Yeah, you can't buy strawberries at the grocery store. They taste like nothing
because there is nothing.
They're gross.
Because it's just water you're chewing on. So my point is that with all of that being said, which is why we need a FDA in the first damn place, because the food and drug, and why is food and drug under the same roof?
Well, because R.J. Reynolds Tobacco bought Kraft Foods back in the 80s, and all of a sudden they put addictive chemicals. So even to elaborate on what you just said, you missed, in my estimation, a really key piece, which is we touched on it last time. The only way to really vote on this is with our dollars, by not buying that crap. But you even said if we put a bowl of Honey Bunches of Oats, you'd eat it right now.
Because it's like
because
crack.
You are addicted. You are addicted, both mentally, psychologically, and physically
100%.
to that specific, and I won't call it food.
Right. The ones with the
conglomeration of chemicals that are in that bowl.
Yeah.
So
absolutely.
So
and you're absolutely right.
And it's hard, right? I mean, look, we go carnivore, and it's like, man, they start feeding. Everybody's got something on the table.
Yeah.
At the firehouse, at our family's house, at my own house, at your grandkids' house, whatever.
Because marketing is everything, right? McDonald's does not have the best hamburger, right? We can all agree on that. But guess what? They're going to lead the world in sales because they got the best marketing. When you got the best marketing and you got kids running up to you, Mommy, Daddy, I need this, because the TV has told them that they need and want this stuff. So,
but they're not watching TV though. They're on TikTok and Instagram. They're not watching TV.
Little kids are still watching TV. Oh, and you better be watching these little shows that they're watching, because boy, the adult overtones on a lot of these cartoons are horrible these days. So, but either way, even watching whatever they're watching, there's still advertisements. So it was commercials when we were kids. So if you're on TikTok, what are you getting? You're getting pop-ups. You're going to get pop-up ads that's going to say to you, oh, wow, that's my favorite cereal. Yeah. You don't even know it. So but the advertising works, which is why if you got a kid that's into advertising, they better be good, because it's the fastest job you can make $1 million, but it's the first job you can also get fired in. You get one bad campaign, you're out.
It's funny to me that you mentioned cartoons, because when I was a kid, and I'm like 9 years younger than you, so we're in the same ballpark. But when I was a kid, and I'm sure you probably watched it too, Bugs Bunny, like shooting at Yosemite Sam with a rifle. Like, that cartoon would never exist today, right? There's no way they're putting a gun in a cartoon now. But back then, he was like singing a song about shooting Indians in one of the old cartoons I remember. Oh, yeah. Like, wow, he's shooting at Indians. Man, you can't do that anymore. So different. Now instead, let's you corrupt them even worse. Like, it's not even hidden anymore. It seems like it's weird.
Good TV can't be good, because then they put that word woke on there again, and then it just distorts the whole goddamn thing.
I mean, TV as a whole sucks.
You know, so but you know, if you take that same thought process and you move it back into the marketing aspect of it, you know.
Well, speaking of, let's shift gears one last time, because it's time sensitive that we talk about one more thing.
Go.
Let's talk about the NFL. And I mean National Fix League, because that's what I call it now. Because I think the Kansas City Chiefs won the Super Bowl this year before the season started.
Absolutely.
There is no way Roger Goodell's passing up on the windfall of money that comes by being associated with Taylor Swift for the Kansas City Chiefs. I wish the Eagles would win, but there's a 0% chance. It's not happening.
It's not going to happen. And I heard an amazing statistic on yesterday. I'm out doing my walk at the station, getting ready to work out, and I've got this thing going, and I'm it's a little clip of a podcast, and they talked about the Taylor effect of the NFL has tripled the jersey sales.
Yeah.
Has tripled the NFL marketing, because now you've drawn in a whole different demographic of females that have now become NFL fans because they're following Taylor, who's out there doing her thing. So I 1000% agree with you, and I'll take it back to last week's game. So in the final game, if you're into betting, the line went from 4 to 3, just to right before kickoff. The line was 1. So basically, you was like, man, all right, man, I'm gonna make sure this is gonna happen, because you know in your mind Kansas City must win. So, and I'm not.
They don't have to cover.
But I'm not even.
But they don't have to cover the spread.
But it was only 1.
They don't. Well, but
that means if you win.
But a lot of people betted on it at 4, and a lot of people bet on it at 3, and a lot of people bet on it at 2.5.
I'm not a heavy bettor at all. But I do have my little account. But that particular day, I said they're going to go over the high, which both teams scored very good points. So I knew 49 points was going to be obliterated, which it was at the beginning of the third quarter.
And that was with the Bills you're talking about. Yeah.
And by it being 1, I'm like, I'm taking Kansas City, because they got to win because of the Taylor effect. They got to win, which we saw a couple of questionable calls, that all of the questionable calls went the red way. So the Kansas City to win, the over, and the spread. Man, 3 $10 bets, man. I got $60, man. I was a happy guy. But again, I'm not a genius. But all you got to do is pay attention.
Look, today
the business of the NFL is we're going to do what's best for the business of the NFL. And right now, what's best for the business of the NFL is to do a few things. It's never been a three-peat champion. This is going to be world breaking that the Kansas City Chiefs will already be. How many T-shirts are printed? Anyway, they're already going to win the championship.
We'd like to three in a row. Podcast Twins on January 31st.
Congratulations.
Would be the first to congratulate the Kansas City Chiefs
you guys
on winning
are amazing.
The 2025 Super Bowl. Because we already know it's done. Yeah. February 9th is only 9 days away, so we're going to congratulate you early.
Absolutely. So they're going to win the Taylor effect because the money that they made since Taylor has been around has been absolutely insane. So we also want to congratulate the referees that got the job to work the NFL Super Bowl this coming Sunday. May you do as good a job as they did in the AFC Championship, making sure that they got there. And again, I personally think the jump ball where the defender had the two hands and the one receiver had the one hand.
It hit the ground.
No, that's the one thing I'm going to fight for because it did hit the ground, but it did not move. And the rule clearly states that the ball can hit the ground as long as it does not move to improve its position.
I thought you had to have a control first before it hits
the ground.
Control. He didn't have control.
It was control.
I don't buy that.
But the ball was under control. The ball never shake. The ball never moved. But
how about that flag they threw and then picked up because the ball was incomplete?
The defender had two hands on that ball when the ball touched on the ground and the offensive guy had one.
So it's an interception then? You're saying
to me, my initial call was interception, but then when you go back and read the letter of it, if it's a tie goes to the offense. It's just like in baseball, if it's a bang play at first base, the tie goes to the runner. They're going to give the offensive player the benefit of the doubt. But to me, the two hands over one on the ground, I would have awarded an interception, even though I had my money bet the other way.
The Super Bowl spread opened at Chiefs -1. Have you looked at it? Can you look it up, Curfton, real quick and see if the line has moved at all? Let's see if it's moved. I just want to know if it's moved.
So again, that was the thing
it should be a bigger number.
That was the thing I wanted to add in. Somebody said to me, "Is the Taylor effect bigger than the Vegas effect?"
I saw that, and they said, "Let's everybody bet $100 on the Chiefs, so that Vegas has to call."
Vegas has to call it.
Yes, I saw that. There won't be enough people bet. There won't be enough people to do it though.
-1.5.
Okay, so it's only moved to half. That's nothing.
It's nothing.
That's nothing.
I should have got it at 1 and locked it in, but.
I took the Chiefs money line the day it came out.
Yeah, I should have.
The day it came out.
I'll probably get that 1.5 in a minute. But
I took him at the beginning of the season when it was already gonna happen.
I should have did that.
As long as Kelsey didn't get traded,
right?
I was winning my bet.
But and
he will get traded after this season. By the way,
he won't get traded.
No, he will get traded.
Absolutely,
I guarantee you he'll get traded. Okay. Here's my theory. They're gonna sell all of that Chiefs merch. And then they're gonna trade them to whoever, and then they're gonna sell all of that merch. Because that's $1 billion.
Falsehood. Because here's why: you're not going to do that because you got this is Patrick Mahomes' 7th year. If he comes back, if Kelsey comes back to play, I think it'd be number 12 or 13 for him or whatever. If he comes back, he will retire a Kansas City Chief. He will never play for another team in the NFL. Listen, man, the money effect is too much. This boy, Patrick Mahomes, has been in the league 7 years. This is his 5th Super Bowl. You can't deny what they have built. They are the new Tom Brady. They are the new Patriots. It's their turn. They've made the deal with the devil. They are there.
But that goes in a cycle, though.
But again, but that cycle is not over. If they win the three-peat, there's no way, especially you're not trading Kelsey. If anything, if they're done with Kelsey, he's going to retire. He will never put on another uniform.
I'll take that bet right now. I got $1. I got $1 bill, and I'll even sign it when I lose.
And there it is.
Because Travis Kelsey will play for another football team. He will never play for another. He will play for another.
His brother played for the Eagles only. He will play. He will play for
another football team.
He's going to go down as the greatest tight end.
He will play for a different football team.
In football history, which he's there already, I think he's already surpassed Gonzalez. He's passed a lot of the Hall of Famers. Shannon Sharp, he's passed them. He's passed a lot of Hall of Famers. He's going to be a first ballot Hall of Famer himself. He's literally a walking first ballot Hall of Famer. The question is, will he play for another team? I say absolutely not. He's got too much legacy.
I hope he gets traded to the Giants, so you have to like him, Curfton. That's what I wish for you. I want Travis Kelce. I'm calling Kelce's trade. I want Kelce to go to the New York Football Giants, so Curfton has to root for that chooch.
Look at my face. Okay, that's all I wanted them to see. That will never happen. And Kelce has too much juice.
Screw that Pfizer promoting
He
bitch.
would never go to the Giants.
I hope he goes to the Giants.
Hey, listen, man.
I hope he goes to the Giants.
So the question would be, so if Pfizer walks in this door right now, what do you tell them? They're like, hey, we're going to drop $100,000 to sponsor X amount of episodes.
Listen, as long as I can talk shit about them still, they can pay me whatever I want. I'm not going to say anything good.
That sounds a little contradictory, but I get it. So are we switching? Are we jumping over there? Because if we go over there, we're going to come back.
Look, they probably think no press is bad press. How are they even still in business after all the people they've killed? And I'm not even talking about recently. They settled for $62 billion 10 years ago or something ridiculous.
That's a hell of a transition.
Yeah, like, come on, man. They shouldn't even be in business. Screw them.
But Big
Pfizer.
Big Pharma's going to win, man.
I don't care.
You think the Chiefs are going to win. You think the NFL's going to win. Big Pharma is Big Daddy compared
to that.
Man,
let RFK put his money where his mouth is. Get rid of the FDA. They're criminals. Get rid of Pfizer. They're criminals. Come on, RFK. I'll call him out right now.
If he gets too much power, he's going to have an accident. He ain't going to be around. They're going to kill him. If he gets too much power and he starts messing with the bottom line of these big companies, they're going to get him. He's going to have an accident.
All right.
So, and again, I agree. I agree with the fresh water, the fresh food. I love it. I love that he's promoting. Hey, look, even the farm animals. There was another farmer on yesterday talking about how they rotate their chickens because they have the grounds to do so, as opposed to these other places that just crams them in the building. They said that those places could very easily do that, but they use the rest of the fields to grow the doggone corn to feed these animals instead of them being able to be free range and out there eating on their own with the feed. So we're getting subpar food because we're going for max dollars, which takes us back to the advertising dollars, which takes us right back to money over health, profits over health. So they don't care because, again, they know that if you get a little bit unhealthy down the road, you can go to your doctor and the doctor can write you a script and everybody gets taken care of. You know? So this whole thing, even I think the one thing I'm looking at real hard, and I'll get to it, is chemotherapy is the most profitable drug that doctors can prescribe, but it also has returned the least positive benefit. This ain't my numbers. These are numbers that's out there in these journals, and I should have brought it. The least return of positive benefit, as they say, it doesn't work, but it is the one drug that they make the highest amount of money on.
So I think next episode I want to learn more about that chemotherapy
I gotta
you're
do
talking
it,
about because I've done some preliminary research and I have some own thoughts of myself, and I have a friend that actually is adamant that there's much better ways to deal with cancers and
removing the sugar.
Well, hold on. We're not even going to get to that. We're going to have to cliffhang that for the next one, Vince. Okay. Take a deep breath, and we'll roll right back into that next episode.
Drink some hydrogen water.
On Podcast Twins. Tell us if you like it in the comments. Like us, share us, help us out. Drink some hydrogen water.
Right. Spotify, YouTube, Facebook. Every episode, leave some comments in the section, and again, let us know if we're on track. If you need to hear a question, you got something to add to the next conversation, we read every comment.
All right.
Peace.
Podcast Twins next time.